Welcome back, everyone, to another episode of Business Talks. I am your host, Chawanne Burns. In today's episode, we are going to discuss Mayor Eric Adams. He was just indicted this morning. There is a 52-page unsealed indictment that they, I guess the news media end up getting a hold of prior to the indictment. Also, we're going to discuss Tiffany Henyard. Tiffany Henyard had Thornton. I don't know if this was a special meeting, but it was a Thorton Township meeting, and it was a complete debacle that happened a couple of days ago. We're going to discuss that and Kamala Harris. Okay, so that's all on today's episode of Business.
Something like this. Looks a little bit like I can't miss. Ay, this is what you call a bad. What? This is what you call a bad. Looks a little something like this. Looks a little bit like I can't miss. Ay, this is what you call a bad. What? This is what you call a bad.
You guys put in the chat. Let me know where you're viewing from. Please put in the chat. Let me know where you're viewing from, and make sure the volumes is okay. Okay. Trying to play around with the volume, but sometimes I get the feed on the computer, and then you say, some people are saying that they can't hear what I'm playing. So we're gonna try again today to make sure you can hear everything. I see we have Toy Mafia in the building. What is good with you, EH? Hello, Celeste Hodges, tuning in from Texas. D. Beniot. Is that French? Anyway, I know I'm saying it wrong. Hello to you, Stephen Nimley from New York. Thank you for tuning in. D is saying such a great podcast. Thank you. Kenya Brown, Charleston, South Carolina. Zeb from Denver. Miss Kirsten, you look so beautiful today. I'm viewing from Tulsa, Oklahoma. Thank you. I had a business meeting earlier, so I had to put a suit on in my face. Put my face on. EH said it sounds good. Kings Online, what is good with you? Finding Voice. Hey everyone, Virginia here. And I did pronounce your name correctly. And Lexi, good afternoon to you. And Miss Kirsten said, well, girl, you working it. Thank you. So we're going to get started. I'm not going to, put a lot of fluff to this conversation today. It's just a lot of craziness going on. I don't know if the FBI is the quarter. They haven't met their quarter to indict people, but the FBI has been very busy. The Department of Justice has been very busy this year. At the beginning of the year, we saw a bunch of not only local politicians, but national politicians that they were being indicted, charged, or even prosecuted by the DOJ. Okay. And now, once again, we have a political person that we knew he was being investigated. And Mayor Eric Adams was saying, they're not looking into me. They're looking into, I guess, somebody else, or looking into his people. He was willing to cooperate with the FBI, but lo and behold, they come down with this indictment, and this is for not the people, his second in command that they was investigating. This is for the campaign financing thing. So they're saying that Eric Adams, he was basically accepting illegal campaign contributions. in the form of a nominee or straw contributions, meaning that the true contributors conveyed their money through nominal donors who falsely certified that they were contributing their own money. And by smuggling their contributions to Adams through the U.S.-based straw donors, Adams' overseas contributors defeated federal laws that prevent foreign influence on U.S. elections. Okay? So, note to anyone that's trying to run for election, you're not able to accept donations from foreign countries or foreign dignitaries. Okay? And they tried to conceal it. They tried to conceal this money. Okay? So this is Eric Adams. This is just a snippet of him. Let me just go back. This is your boy Damian Williams. Damian Williams, he trying to set a name for himself. Damian Williams, he's the one who prosecuted or indicted Puff Daddy. He's also was the guy behind, I don't know, did he prosecute George Santos or indicted George Santos? And then remember Robert Menendez. He was also behind that. So Damian Williams, he's an experienced prosecutor, and he usually gets his target. So if somebody's facing him, they might as well number their days of freedom, because he's pretty sharp and knows what to do. Okay, so this is Damian Williams revealing the charges against Mayor Eric Adams.
It's Eric Adams, the mayor of New York City. As the indictment alleges, Mayor Adams engaged in a long-running conspiracy in which he solicited and knowingly accepted illegal campaign contributions from foreign donors and corporations. As we allege, Mayor Adams took these contributions even though he knew they were illegal. And even though he knew these contributions were attempts by a Turkish government official and Turkish businessmen to buy influence with him. We also allege that the mayor sought and accepted well over $100,000 in luxury travel benefits from some of the same foreign actors who arranged many of the illegal campaign contributions. These benefits included free international business class flights and opulent hotel rooms in foreign cities. The mayor had a duty to disclose these gifts on his annual public disclosure forms so that the public could see who was giving him what. But as we allege, year after year after year, he kept the public in the dark. He told the public he received no gifts, even though he was secretly being showered with them. We allege that Adams accepted these benefits knowing that they were given to him because of his position. And in exchange for some of those improper benefits, he intervened in the New York City Fire Department's inspection process for a building owned and operated by the Turkish government, allowing it to open even though it had not passed the fire inspection. The corruption alleged in the indictment is, as I said, long-running. As we allege in the indictment, Adams' solicitation of illegal campaign contributions began in 2018. After he started raising funds for his 2021 mayoral campaign, he agreed to take contributions offered by multiple Turkish businessmen, several of whom he met in Turkey. Adams knew that these wealthy individuals could not legally donate in a U.S. election. Federal law clearly prohibits foreign donations. That's how we protect our elections from foreign influence. Yet Adams directed his staff to pursue this illegal money to support his campaign for mayor. And as we allege, Adams continued to pursue foreign money in secret well into 2021. And it didn't stop with his first campaign for mayor. As we allege, in 2023, the mayor rekindled these corrupt relationships, seeking more illegal campaign contributions from some of the same foreign sources to support his re-election campaign. Adams also took contributions that broke other laws. As we allege, he sought contributions from businessmen far in excess of what the law allowed. He also allegedly sought contributions from corporations, which are not allowed to contribute at all in New York City elections. Many of those illegal corporate contributions were organized by the same people who organized the illegal foreign contributions. And Adams allegedly disguised them all in the same way by accepting the money through so-called straw donors. A straw donor contributes someone else's money, hiding the money's illegal source, such as a foreign businessman, a corporation, or a wealthy New Yorker who has already contributed the maximum amount allowed. And as we allege, Adams circumvented all of these laws, taking contributions from exactly the sources the law prohibits, all to benefit his mayoral campaigns.
Eric Adams, he should be under the jail. He was a police chief, a former police chief. I'm pretty sure 9/10 of the law is not because I don't know the law. You still got to obey the law. And you purposely took money and hid it so you could potentially say, oh no, these are legal donating contributors. And you knew they were from a foreign company or a foreign country or a person that's foreign to this country. What was done in return? I guess he's going to get to that. But what was the exchange? Hey, I'm donating to your campaign for you to become the mayor. What did they want? And I hear one of those migrant hotels is owned by a Turkish businessman. You guys, let me know if I'm going in the wrong direction.
Now, Adams also personally benefited from the illegal conduct alleged in the indictment. Adams solicited and accepted over $100,000 in luxury travel benefits for years from wealthy Turkish business people and at least one Turkish government official seeking to gain influence over him.
Breaking news out of New York City. Mayor Eric Adams has just been indicted on federal criminal charges. The FBI searching the mayor's residence at Grace Mansion in Manhattan just this morning. Adams will be the first sitting New York mayor ever to face federal charges. NBC News correspondent Rahema Ellis is in Lower Manhattan. She just got her hands on this unsealed indictment. Also with us, MSNBC legal correspondent Lisa Rubin. Former federal prosecutor Christy Greenberg is also here, who worked for the office investigating Adams. So, Rahema, start us off. As we mentioned, this was just unsealed. I know you are still processing it and trying to get the details, but walk us through what we know right now and the search that happened just this morning.
Yeah, it's historic, as you mentioned, Anna. Eric Adams is the 110th mayor of New York City, but as you point out, he is the first mayor of New York City ever to be criminally indicted on federal charges. I'm going to read some of it right now to you. It says, in 2014, Eric Adams, the defendant, became Brooklyn Borough president. Thereafter, nearly a decade, Adams sought and accepted improper valuable benefits, such as luxury international travel, including from wealthy foreign business people and at least one Turkish government official seeking to gain influence over him. By 2018, Adams, who had by then made known his plans to run for mayor of New York City, not only accepted but sought illegal campaign contributions to his 2021 mayoral campaign, as well as other things of value from foreign nationals. As Adams' prominence and power grew, his foreign national benefactors sought to cash in on their corrupt relationships with him, particularly when, in 2021, it became clear that Adams would become the New York City's mayor. Adams
I hate to interrupt her, but I was just reading this indictment. You guys, I just want to share with you. Okay, we know he accepted money from foreign nationals or foreign dignitaries or foreign business people. Okay, it's illegal. You're a politician, a U.S. politician. No one from a foreign nation should be donating to your campaign. And he concealed this by straw donors. Straw donors is basically, hey, I'm going to give you, let's use your name. I'll pay you probably whatever, a percentage of it, maybe. Or we got some random names that we could use, and we'll make a list, and you just funnel the money through these people, okay? And these people are U.S. citizens, so it might be a small contribution, it might be a large contribution, but it's easy to find out. You know who else the DOJ need to look at? Remember last year, when I first started talking about politics, Cori Bush, it was Cori Bush, I don't think AOC was on there, but Alvin Bragg, Fonnie Willis, and it was someone else in that, but the Blue Act or the Blue Pack Act or whatever, Act Blue Pack, and they use straw donation. They didn't call it straw donators, but one of the reporters found out he ended up, because on a PAC, you have to list your donors and the amount. So he ended up going back to the person that they said or claimed they donated. It was a person in Virginia, older lady, and she donated to somebody in Georgia. She was like, well, why the hell would I donate to some small person that I don't know in Georgia and I live in Virginia? She said that doesn't even make any sense. And then the amount, I think it was like $3,000 or something. She was like, I'm on a fixed income. If anything, I probably would have donated $5, not $2,800. Got to go back to that video to find it. But anyway, I said all this to say, this is something normal for them to do. I think it's more, the nest is actually bigger than what the DOJ, and maybe they have, they know how to look for it now. So, and somebody is probably tipping them off like that, a reporter. And he wasn't like a reporter on the internet. He was a YouTube reporter. And maybe they're starting to realize, hey, corruption is not only at big government level, but it's at the smaller local level. I mean, we've been covering Tiffany Henyard listen, Tiffany Henyard is not a clever criminal at all. Her stuff is in front of our face, but she hasn't even been indicted yet. And they've been investigating for her for quite some time, longer than Mayor Eric Adams. But this is what I wanted to point out to you. Okay, you got the straw donors, foreign people. These were business people. And remember, when I interrupted Damian Williams, and I said, okay, well, what was they getting out of it? And the thing cut off. But remember, I said, okay, I remember a post that I saw came across a few months ago, that one of the hotels that these migrants were at was owned by a Turkish business person. And in this 14, I guess this is paragraph 14, page 9, Eric Adams, the defendant, also accepted valuable travel and hospitality benefits for himself and his companions during their time in Turkey. For example, during a stay in Istanbul, July and August, the trips Adams and Adams' relatives and Adams' liaison accepted a heavily discounted stay at St. Regis Istanbul. St. Regis Istanbul is owned by the businesswoman who sought to ingratiate herself with Adams. Adams stayed in the Bentley suite. This is the suite that they depicted here. These businesswomen, the only reason why I pulled this up, these businesswomen or businessmen, they're in the hotel industry. They in the hotel industry. That's the connection. And I'm pretty sure down here is gonna, they're talking about how much travel he received, blah, 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 Turkish Airlines and all that good stuff. So I want to get back to what she's saying on this report.
Agreed, providing favorable treatment in exchange for the illicit benefits he received. It goes on to talk about after the inauguration, he began preparing for his next election, including by planning to solicit more illegal contributions and granting requests from those who supported his 2021 mayoral campaign with such donations. We should mention to you that I'm standing in Federal Plaza, and about a half an hour now, around the corner, we're expecting that the U.S. District Attorney, Damian Williams, is going to hold a news conference, and he had put out just a moment ago, they're going to talk about these charges. Interestingly, in that press conference, in the press release, he did not name Mayor Adams specifically, but it was clear that Mayor Adams was the target of this investigation as things have been swirling around him. You mentioned and showed some video that earlier this morning, federal authorities went to the mayor's official residence, Gracie Mansion. It is north from where I'm standing, and they took out material from his home. His attorney sent out a statement at that point, and we should share it with you. His lawyer said federal agents appeared this morning at Gracie Mansion in an effort to create, quote, a spectacle again and take Mayor Adams' phone again. He has been arrested. He has not been arrested and looks forward to his day in court. They sent a dozen agents to pick up a phone when we would have happily turned it in. The mayor has insisted that he is innocent of any and all charges that might come against him. And it's interesting, though, because his administration has been bombarded with scandal, if you will, and allegations of illegal activity, in as much as an investigation has been going on now almost from the time he became mayor in 2021. The charges stem from a broad corruption investigation, and they even examined, now we have the indictment says, the mayor and his campaign conspired with the Turkish government to receive illegal foreign donations. As you know, it is against the law for foreigners to participate by giving money in an American political election. It also examined whether or not the mayor pressured New York City Fire Department officials in order to sign off on a new high-rise office building for the Turkish consulate, despite the concerns about safety problems. And last year, it should be mentioned that one of the mayor's campaign fundraiser officials, Brianna Shuggs, her home was searched and her phone and electronic equipment was taken from her home. The mayor was even stopped in the street, his vehicle, and federal agents entered the vehicle taking his phone and electronic equipment. The home of the mayor's director for international affairs was also searched. The search also involved the mayor's former liaison to the Turkish community of former Turkish Airlines executives. There had been talk that the mayor had gotten an upgrade on his seats, if you will, on airline flights to Turkey. He had gone to Turkey several times. He said it was always on official business. Again, the mayor has repeatedly said, as he heard these charges were about to come down, last night he heard about them, and he released a statement saying that he is innocent of any and all potential charges that would be leveled against him, and he is eager to have his day in court.
He's eager to have his day in court to get convicted. It doesn't look too good for Mayor Eric Adams. They confiscated their devices, and in this indictment, they're showing proof of the text messages. They even have copies of emails that they're coordinating with either Turkish business people or they're whoever's promoting the business person, I guess their administrator or secretary, and with Eric Adams' campaign financiers or admin. Okay. These are, and she mentioned something about he tried to, I guess, strong arm the fire chief to approve this building that they're constructing in New York. It also mentioned in this indictment that one of the, now this is the Turkish consulate. I guess this is the one that they're opening in New York. I guess this is, but they said they have some serious construction issues. And I'm assuming that Mayor Eric Adams had his hands in the Turkish government actually acquiring a plot of land, because in this indictment it also mentioned them acquiring the land. Okay, so I don't want to spend a lot of time on this, only because I know I got to spend a lot of time on Tiffany, and that's going to take a lot of time. Tomorrow we'll discuss that. I'm going to come on tomorrow morning and we'll discuss this more in detail about Eric Adams' indictment. One thing I do want to show you, Eric Adams, he did make a statement, and it's unbelievable. Okay, Eric Adams, he's trying to pull the race card. And he tries to pull the race card, and people that was out there was heckling him. Let me see if it'll come up. They were out there heckling him because he was saying, "Oh, it's because I'm black." Well, Damian Williams is black. Your prosecutor. It's because I'm black and everybody does it. Is that your defense? It's because you're black and everybody does it. I'm trying to see if it's going to show it. No. It's not going to show it. Let me just go to Twitter, because I know I bookmarked it. It's only 50 seconds, but it's just the heckling part. The heckling part, and these were black citizens out there, and they said, no, it's not because you black, it's because you are you, okay? You are you, and you're dirty. And you sold New York to the highest bidder.
Black day. This is not a black day. This is a youth day. This is a youth thing, Eric Adams. This is not a black day. Your policies are anti-black. You are a disgrace to all black people in this city. The things that you have done are unconscionable. You hurt our schools. Our streets are dirty. Our children are harassed by the police. This is ridiculous. This is ridiculous. You can shush me all you want, but the people are with us. And this is not a black day. This is a justice day.
First of all, I want to thank you for being here this morning. And I want to thank the supporters of all ethnic groups.
I don't know what's so funny. I don't know what's so funny about that. Justin Thompson, he just put in there, that's what you get for speaking up against a Biden and Democrats administration. Yeah, he was being very critical about how they were sending all those immigrants to his city. And he was sending out a cry for help from Biden, and they didn't help him. So maybe that's the way you need to shut up and fall in line, maybe. But it still doesn't take away the fact that he was doing illegal things. And maybe he probably would have got away with it. But somebody probably from the higher up, yeah, look into Eric Adams, because he's making too much noise. And we got to teach people not to make too much noise if you're in a glass house. Okay. If you're dirty, you need to shut the hell up and do what we tell you to do. Eric Adams, anyway, he was a one-term mayor. He wasn't going to get reelected. Kings on Live, Eric Adams is a subplot while Kamala's family tree is getting suspicious. Feels like watching a soap opera. Feels like unasked that seat, get noticed with Nikki is, and somebody go to jail. Somebody going to jail. Muanda says, yeah, the feds are too busy trying to harpoon and to reel in guppies like Henyard. Yeah, they want the big fish. Henyard might be on a larger scale because she was able to corrupt one township, which has 16 cities in it, and then one smaller village. Okay, so she might be on a larger scale, but she's not as smart as these other people. Tiffany's crimes is like right in front of your face. They wasn't smart enough to cover it up. I guess probably because they didn't think no one's was going to pay attention, and they are a smaller town. They probably didn't think it will ever get onto this national scale level, and it just went viral. People been obsessed with Tiffany Henyard. Okay, so he's laughing about it, and he did make a statement. Other people are asking him to resign. But I think, what's her name? AOC. She asked him to resign, but he's not going to resign. We might as well forget that. He's going to see it through. If he resigns, he's essentially is saying he's guilty. This is his statement, you guys.
If so, these charges will be entirely false, based on lies. But they would not be surprising. I always knew that if I stood my ground for all of you, that I would be a target. And a target I became. For months, leaks and rumors have been aimed at me in an attempt to undermine my credibility and paint me as guilty. Just this past week, they searched the home of our new police commissioner, looking for documents from 20 years ago, just 1 week after he joined my administration. Enough. I will fight these injustices with every ounce of my strength and my spirit. If I'm charged, I know I am innocent. I will request an immediate trials so the New Yorkers can hear the truth. New Yorkers know my story. They know where I come from. I have been fighting injustice my entire life. That fight has continued as your mayor. Despite our pleas, when the federal government did nothing as its broken immigration policies overloaded our shelter system with no relief, I put the people of New York before party and politics. Now, if I am charged, many may say I should resign because I cannot manage the city while fighting the case. I can also understand how everyday New Yorkers will be concerned that I cannot do my job while I face accusation. But I have been facing these lies for months since I began to speak out for all of you and their investigation started. Yet the city has continued to improve. Make no mistake, you elected me to lead this city, and lead it I will. I humbly ask for your prayers and your patience as we see this through. God bless you, and God bless the city of New York. Thank you.
So, of course, you have to do that. You have to say it's lies. This is normal for a politician to do. It's lies. They're deceiving you. I knew if I would stand up for the people, it's, they would come after me. But was he really standing up for the people? No. He was putting the immigration above the normal people. And they were letting immigrants go. I mean, I can't say he has all the power because he's only the mayor of the city of New York, but it's certain things he could have done so his city could remain safe. It's certain things he could have done, and he just did a horrible job. And then on top of that, you already proved that you put other people in front of New York citizens. You took money from foreign people. And you've been doing it for years. So what does that tell us? You're really not honest. I mean, the FBI, they're not going to come up with some just high in the sky pie, criminal charges. They usually have evidence. Anywho, Godspeed to Mayor Eric Adams. Now, the next story I want to talk about is your girl, Kamala Harris. I know some of you guys might be mad at me because I'm talking about Kamala Harris, but we're going to talk about her. Kamala Harris, and I want you guys to listen. I bookmarked several talking points of Kamala Harris, okay? This is just in the last 5 interviews, and I'm missing 2, but I know she said it in the interviews, but let's listen to what she said. This is only a 41-second snippet, okay? Let's listen.
Believe in fighting. Optimistic people. We are an optimistic people. Americans, by character, are people who have dreams and ambitions and aspirations. We believe in what is possible. We believe in what can be. And we believe in fighting for that. That's how we came into being. Because the people before us understood that one of the greatest expressions for the love of our country, one of the greatest expressions of patriotism, is to fight for the ideals of who we are. Optimistic people. We are an optimistic people. Americans, by character, are people who have dreams and ambitions and aspirations. We believe in what is possible. We believe in what can be. And we believe in fighting for that.
Okay. This is the next clip.
Yeah. Can you tell us about what that's going to be about in the preview?
So I'm going to be giving a speech this week that is really to outline my vision for the economy. As you've heard me talk about, I believe in what we can create in terms of opportunity for the American people. I've named it an opportunity economy, which really, in short form, is about what we can do more to invest in the aspirations, the ambitions, and the dreams of the American people while addressing the challenges that they face, whether it be the high price of groceries or the difficulty in being able to acquire home ownership, because for a number of reasons, including we don't have enough housing supply.
Will the fair economy be part of this?
I will touch on it for sure. Yeah.
I love our country. I love our country. I know we all do. That's why everybody's here right now. We love our country. We take pride in the privilege of being American. And this is a moment where we can and must come together as Americans, understanding we have so much more in common than what separates us. Let's come together with the character that we are so proud of about who we are, which is we are an optimistic people. We are an optimistic people. Americans, by character, are people who have dreams and ambitions and aspirations. We believe in what is possible.
Dreams, ambitions, and aspirations. She said this 5, 6 times, you guys. 5 or 6 times. She said this twice in the same damn sitting. Dreams, ambitions, and aspirations. Another one, somebody did a compilation of Kamala. She speaks of dreams and aspirations.
And aspirations and dreams. So I was raised as a middle-class kid.
This is the debate.
A middle-class kid. I grew up a middle-class kid. I believe in the ambition, the aspirations, the dreams of the American people. You know, we have ambitions and aspirations and dreams. The ambition, the aspiration, the dream. I started my career as a prosecutor. I was a career prosecutor for most of my career. Having a background as a prosecutor, I intend to create an opportunity economy. Developing and creating an opportunity economy. What I imagine and believe and call an opportunity economy. So I was raised as a middle class.
This is Jesse Waters, you guys. Kamala plagiarized herself. Only reason why I'm prefacing, I'm showing you this information because she gave another interview yesterday. Kamala gave another interview yesterday. Can anybody tell me, how did the interview go? What did she say during the interview? You don't even need to watch it. What did she say in the interview? The first minute and a half of the interview. Let me just share this with you. It says Kamala Harris first solo network interview of 2024 candidate. I don't know what this is saying. Oh, MSNBC exclusive. Why are they calling it exclusive? Exclusive means something that nobody has access to, and she's going to give us some information nobody ever heard before. You know, that's exclusive. Like, she's not going to regurgitate the same information, even if she says it differently, like different words. Like, say someone needs to get Kamala a thesaurus or something to give her different talking points. Change her. She's so scripted. It's ridiculous.
Yeah. But still, there are lots of Americans who don't see themselves in your plans. For those who say these policies aren't for me, what do you say to them?
Well, if you are hardworking, if you have the dreams and the ambitions and the aspirations of what I believe you do, you're in my plan. You know, I have to tell you, I really love and am so
energized by what I know to be the spirit and character of the American people. We have ambition. We have aspirations. We have dreams. We can see what's possible. We have an incredible work ethic.
Like, I don't even know what she's about to say, but I know what she's about to say.
The access to the opportunities that allow them to achieve those things. But we don't lack for those things. But not everyone, gets handed stuff on a silver platter. And so my vision for the economy, I call it an opportunity economy, is a...
I'm laughing so much because people are actually voting for this lady. I mean, take it aside. Okay, you don't like Trump, but you actually are going to vote for this woman. You guys, like, what is... I'm thinking like something's wrong with people for real. Like, we're in trouble if you're actually okay. Now let me just say, I know everybody is not into the news, and so if you hear this for the first time and you're a Kamala supporter, you're probably like, oh, she's so passionate about what she's saying. She really loves the American people. But after a while, if you actually follow her, you see that she has the same thing over and over. She says the exact same thing in the exact same way over and over again. The lady asks her, what do you say to the people that they're saying that, oh, Kamala, I don't think she's for me? Does her campaign say, oh, put in the dreams and aspiration speech here? Does she even talk to her speaker? Like, is she even listening to them? Kamala, you need to change it up. I'm pretty sure somebody's in her camp, and she has some Obama people. Obama was a great speaker. Very charismatic. So she has some Obama people in her camp. Is she even listening to them? Or are you going to keep on saying dreams, aspiration, and so much filled with hope of the American people? Come on now. Give us something different. You put the same answer when the lady said, hey, how are you going to bring down the prices? And she talking about dreams and aspirations. No, my dream is to be able to afford to live. Like, what are you talking about? How are you going to bring down prices? Well, I'm so inspired by the dreams and aspirations. Like, what the fuck? I mean, this is ridiculous.
About making sure that all Americans, wherever they start, wherever they are, have the ability to actually achieve those dreams and those ambitions, which include, for middle-class families, just being able to know that their hard work allows them to get ahead, right? I think we can't and we shouldn't aspire to have an economy that just allows people to get by. People want to do more than just get by. They want to get ahead. And I come from the middle class. Look, my mother raised my sister and me. She worked hard. She saved up. By the time I was a teenager, she was able to buy our first home. And
how many times have you heard that? Give us another story. How do we know you was middle class? Oh, my mother, she saved up and we was able to buy our first home. I could tell you many of stories about being poor. I'm not going to give you the same damn stories because it's pretty fascinating. When you're a kid, it doesn't matter if you're middle class or even upper class. When you're a kid, you remember your life you think your life is like, wow, this is crazy. You remember certain things that happened to you. Give us something different, Kamala. This is why I said she has no genuine bone in her body and she's being fake. You just remember that one time your mom saved up to buy a home. You don't remember, hey, I saved enough money. I worked at McDonald's and I remember I saved the money to buy my first pair of Jordans. Or I saved my money. I had my first pair of pants that I bought. I saved my money and I had a pair of pink Guess pants. I remember that just like it was yesterday. I remember working at McDonald's because I also work at McDonald's, and they didn't have enough people, and I was working, taking orders, filling the orders in the drive-thru. Okay? I remember that. Kamala can't even give us no information because she's fake. Just like she put that picture up there in that book that she published with her fake grandmama. The Help. And we gonna still vote. You still voting for Kamala. You still voting for Kamala. We ain't even a minute and a half in, and I talk more than what I gave you more information about myself, and I ain't even running for president. This is ridiculous.
Home ownership for too many people in our country now is elusive. Gone is the day of everyone thinking they could actually live the American dream. So part of my vision for the economy is let's deal with some of the everyday challenges that people face and address them with common sense solutions, such as affordable housing.
Okay.
Over the last 4 years, there have been tremendous economic wins,
economy.
and you've just laid out a big plan. But still, polling shows that most likely voters still think Donald Trump is better to handle the economy. Why do you think that is?
Well, here's what I know in terms of the facts. Donald Trump left us with the worst economy since the Great Depression when you look at, for example, the employment numbers.
It was during COVID, and employment was so high because we shut down the government, we shut down the country.
Even before the...
No, Kamala. You did a good job for her. She gave her pushed it back. Yeah, this was COVID, extenuating circumstances. Let's see what she's going to say.
Pandemic. He lost manufacturing jobs by most people's estimates, at least 200,000. He lost manufacturing plants. Ask the auto workers how he lost auto plants. We have grown over 20 new auto plants. He has an agenda. Let's just deal with right now going forward, not to mention what happened in the past. He has an agenda that would include making it more difficult for workers to earn overtime, an agenda that would include cutting off access to small business loans for small businesses, an agenda that includes tariffs to the point that the average working person will spend 20% more on everyday necessities and an estimated $4,000 more a year on those everyday necessities, to the point that top economists in our country, from Nobel laureates to people at Moody's and Goldman Sachs, have compared my plan with his and said my plan would grow the economy, his would shrink the economy. Some of them have actually assessed that his plan would increase inflation and invite a recession by the middle of next year. So the facts remain that Donald Trump has a history of taking care of very rich people. And I'm not mad at anybody for being rich, but they should...
You guys, let me just show you. She got this necklace on again. This is a Tiffany necklace. They said this necklace costs $60,000. And then you are repeating lies. She said economists look at her plan compared to Donald Trump plan, and they said they're saying that, oh, your plan is but better. And reports came out the very next day after the debate. Yeah, it's a little bit better, just a smidgen better. You act like Donald Trump's plan is horrible, and actually, if you really think about it, her plan is horrible. This is big government, more taxes on the workers or working people, middle class people, because you're trying to give away $25,000, $50,000, all these subsidies or credits and money to either illegal immigrants or incentivize first-time home buyers. I don't know. you're giving away $25,000. That's just going to inflate the cost of goods or inflate everything. And then another thing, you're talking about taxes, import taxes. You guys stole that. They actually put taxes or tariffs on goods. Joe Biden, because they thought Donald Trump, they was criticizing him. And no, after they realized, okay, yeah, this is a good thing because we actually promote more businesses in the U.S., they extended or expanded the tariffs onto other goods and services. So don't get it twisted. She's lying. A lot of the things that she claims that Donald Trump was poor on, they actually expanded it in Joe Biden's administration. This is the chain. Now this one has diamond encrusted. This chain right here. Well, this is. This is the necklace. Not the necklace, but the bracelet. The bracelet cost $9,000. That same chain she got on her neck. This is $12,000. I think this is what she got. She has this one on her neck. I don't know where the necklace is at. I have to look for it. Right here. This is the necklace. $60,000, you guys. Kamala Harris trying to act like she just saw a normal person. You're not. We know Doug Emhoff was rich when you got with him. That's probably one of the reasons why you got with him. But you're not for the people. That's why you can't collect your thoughts and give us a genuine answers. Even on the first one, she is in a political campaign. Yeah, you want to talk about how bad the other administration is, but you're the administration now. Okay, yeah, you want to make comparisons, but if you compare Donald Trump administration to Joe Biden administration, people prefer Donald Trump administration. And unfortunate for you, you're under Joe Biden's administration. Instead of saying, yes, this is what we did during this administration, but under my administration, we'll be doing this and this and this, even though they're bad ideas. But that's what I would say. Another thing, she keeps on touting billionaires and the top corporations. If you go to her Twitter feed, she was bragging about how Fortune 500 companies are endorsing her. You got probably on one hand, billionaires endorsing Donald Trump. All the corporations are voting for or endorsing Kamala Harris. Why is that? Because she has their best interests at mind. But this is what she's putting in the media.
He didn't just cut corporate taxes, he cut individual taxes. Now that expires next year, and there's some people confused saying, I don't know what's going to happen next year. Under a Harris administration, at what income level should someone expect their taxes to go up? And that state and local tax deduction that's currently capped and matters to a lot of people in blue states, you're going to lift that cap?
So, first of all, when it relates to anybody making less than $400,000 a year, your taxes will not go up. Your taxes will not go up. And in fact, under my plan, taxes for 100 million Americans will actually be cut, including $6,000 a year for young couples for the first year of their child's life, and a tax cut, a tax credit, essentially, by expansion of the child tax credit. And why is that? Because during the first year of a young couple, of a person's child's life, they're going to need help buying a crib, buying a car seat. And we all benefit when they're actually able to do what they naturally want to do to take care of their child.
And expanding that child tax credit, or you mentioned housing before, giving that extra money for a first home. If you can't raise corporate taxes, or if GOP takes control of the Senate, where do you get the money to do that? Do you still go forward with those plans and borrow?
You don't always know where Kamala Harris.
These are excellent questions. No. The middle class is going to freaking pay for it. Hello? The middle class. They're going to stick it to you. And she mentioned another excellent point.
Fracking, private health care, a secure border.
Well, she mentioned another great point. I lost my train of thought. She's talking about housing or whatever. I think she said 3 million housing. Who's that? That money is going to come from the middle class, the working middle class. It's not coming from nobody else. The working middle class is going to pay for it. And then you're saying the taxes is going to go down. This is where I was going with it. The taxes are going to go down. That's what Kamala is saying. No, your taxes will decrease. But right now they have those provisions in there. The middle class is paying less taxes because of what Donald Trump put in place. And that provision is set to expire this or next tax year. So how is our taxes going down? They're going to go up again unless you reinstall or reinstate another provision and get it voted in Congress.
But we're going to have to raise corporate taxes, and we're going to have to make sure that the biggest corporations and billionaires pay their fair share. That's just it. It's about paying their fair share. I am not mad at anyone for achieving success, but everyone should pay their fair share. And it is not right that the teachers and the firefighters that I meet every day across our country are paying a higher tax than the richest people in our country.
Bill Gates just said it this week. If he was in charge of taxes, he would have paid more. But how do you find that line to make sure corporations are paying their fair share, but they're not leaving our country?
Look, they're going to put a tax code, and then, like Donald Trump said, they're going to take advantage of these loopholes. So they're not going to pay their fair share. But if you're telling me you're going to increase taxes on corporations, and I'm a large corporation, I'm just going to move my company out of the country so I won't have to pay taxes. And if they need my product, okay, we'll just pay a tariff. And I pass that on to the customer. You can't be like, I'm an opportunity economy. And then in turn, what happens to that job growth is going to go stagnant or decline. Somebody put up on a post on X saying, hey, black jobs, black unemployment is increasing over the last couple of months. Black unemployment is increasing. And wait till these job numbers come out. They messed up saying, oh, we created so many jobs. And, they were bragging about it. They had to go back and revise those numbers because they overestimated by 1 million. So they've been lying to you all this time, like they was lying about Joe Biden's health. They've been lying.
Well, listen, I work with a lot of CEOs. I have spent a lot of time with CEOs, and I'm going to tell you that the business leaders who are actually part of the engine of America's economy agree that people should pay their fair share. They also agree that when we look at a plan such as mine, that is about investing in the middle class, investing in new industries, investing in bringing down costs, invest in entrepreneurs like small businesses, that the overall economy is stronger and everyone benefits. Part of my plan for the economy is investing in new industries in a way that we have active partnership with the private sector. I've worked with the private sector my entire career. Even as vice president, working with some of the biggest banks and biggest tech companies to increase by billions of dollars the money going into community banks to increase access to capital for small businesses. Why do those
biggest corporations and CEOs do that because they know those kinds of investments, like in our small businesses, in startups and entrepreneurs, actually strengthens America's economy overall, and everyone benefits. So this is not about bilking anybody, but it is certainly about saying, let's make sure that we create opportunities for everyone to grow wealth. I believe that it is not sufficient, and it should not be our goal to just make sure everyone is working. That should be the baseline. That should be a given. And let's create an economy where people have the ability to buy a home, to start a business, to take a nice vacation from time to time, right?
For people who want to buy a home, yes, getting a $25,000 kicker would be great. But it's not just affording a home. We don't have enough in this country.
You're absolutely right.
And one of the main problems are regulations and rules, strict rules at a local level. How does the federal government cut through all that red tape and get down to, the suburbs of Pittsburgh and say, we're going to have to build some affordable housing here? How do you connect the two?
So you're absolutely right. So across our country, people rightly are concerned about the cost of housing. So it's home ownership, to your point. We need more supply. That is.
This is a bunch of BS. You don't care about that. And then, I believe she's endorsed by BlackRock and those other companies that's buying up all the small single family homes, and then the rents are being raised. Immigration is one of the problems. Yeah, we don't have enough housing, and then you're kicking out Americans because immigrants are able to afford more rent. So you're kicking, regular people out, raising up the rent, and then taking those immigrants. That's why we don't have enough housing. You're creating more of a problem, and then you come in like a knight in shining armor saying, oh, I fixed the problem. We could build more housing. Matter of fact, we're going to build more housing, and it's going to be on your dime. All these tax cuts and credits, the money got to come somewhere, you guys. It's going to come from the middle class. It's not going to come from the corporations or anything like that. They're going to find a loophole to stop paying taxes. It's going to come from your pocket, okay? Because she's owned by these people. These are her donors. That's why they endorsed her. Because she's going to put stuff in place so they could take advantage of it. Then she mentioned about the auto workers. That's why I said this next job report, Chrysler is being decimated by the EV mandate. They have closed down maybe 3 plants. Not the whole entire plant, but shifts. Like they can't work second and third shift. Only first shift is running. With the plant in Warren, I think it was not Warren Stampin, but the plant next to Warren Stampin, they closed the whole entire plant down indefinitely. And then you have Sean Fain that endorsed Kamala Harris, which is out of control, is insane to me. Sean Fain, the UAW president, he's threatened to strike. How can you strike on the company if they're not selling any of their vehicles? I'm telling you, we have an EV vehicle, and I'm pretty sure it doesn't compare to Tesla vehicle. But the price on that vehicle was damn near $60,000. And you can't even drive 30 miles without the battery running out. So why would I buy that vehicle? Why would anybody buy a $60,000 vehicle, electric vehicle, and I only could travel 30 miles? That doesn't make any sense. The car payment is higher and the insurance is higher. And this is because of this EV mandate. And now you're trying to switch. You see, they haven't pushed her on fracking. I don't know if they're going to push her on fracking, but she's trying to switch to flip the switch like she's middle of the road, moderate Democrat. Like she's an opportunity economy. She believes in small business. No, she don't believe the hype. Kamala Harris believes in big government. She wants to take away your guns. She wants you to pay for everything and depend on the government. That's basically what she wants. She wants a socialist economy. She wants more people dependent on the government so they could tax you more. Anyway, that's enough for Kamala. I'm not going to get into it. I don't think she did this horrible. She didn't repeat all the stuff, but they should have put this information in the front. She shouldn't have started off with the same old crap that she was saying. At the end of the interview, I don't know if she would say that, you know, the stuff that she's saying, but at the beginning of the interview, you know, you got the first 20 seconds to keep people attention. And if they hear the same thing, they gonna turn it off. They don't want to listen to you. And that was horrible. It's disgusting that you don't have any original bone in your body. Anyway, going on to our next subject. Tired of talking about Kamala. You guys put in the chat. Let me know what you think. Not ordinary. Thank you. I had enough of Kamala too. Celeste Hodges says EV school buses are broke down. Yeah. Lexi says EVs are death traps. We got to think, what if the power grid goes down? Then what? Well, you know, so Chrysler, they've been making, and you know, I think GM got a couple of hybrids where it switch over from electric to gas. So, I mean, even though my husband, he drives our EV vehicle, so he has a charging station at the job and he could charge it at home. So that's enough mileage where he doesn't have to fill up. He just keeps, you know, I think he says he fills up maybe every 4 days, which is, it saves in gas. But, you know, electric bill. Then you're talking about the power grid. Everybody driving electric, the power grid is going to suffer. I don't know what they're going to do with that. And then, okay, you're trying to get away from or go to zero emissions. We're abundant in coal, but I guess you're trying to get away from that. Maybe you want some of those windmills, you know, the turbines. And I guess that's how you're supplying the grid. You know what? I used to work for not DTE, but a Duke Energy. I did an internship at Duke Energy, and one of the problems was, well, this was back in the day, they didn't know how to store power. You know, so you could have a turbine in but they can't store it. They don't have you have to use it. It dissipates. So it's not like you could get a storage container and put electricity in it. It doesn't happen. You know, so it's a constant system. So when your power grid, if the system is overloaded or under supply, what do you have? You have no electricity. Power grid goes out or whatever happens. So I don't think they, you know, thought it through. And they probably didn't have the people that was in that technology when they came up with that plan. They should have consulted with like DTE, Duke Energy, you know, the power companies. That's what you should do. The government works with these companies to see, okay, how can we make, you know, our life or the earth better, a better way to live. And I don't think they consulted anybody on this. They just, oh, this sounds good. We're going to make this green new energy deal and sign it and said, oh, this is going to be the way. Anyway, we got a super chat. Courtney says, I know some people who had EVs and took them back, but got way, way less for what they bought it for. Yeah. I don't know what iteration, I think Chrysler, reason why it was so expensive, because they're not that great on that particular technology. I know Elon Musk is talking about coming out with a $17,000 EV vehicle. I mean, that would be great. But the charge got to last. I think those Teslas, I think you could travel up to 400 miles on them. So whatever technology he's using, they have to figure out how they could share the technology. I know, of course, it's proprietary information. And of course, he wants that proprietary information. But it has to be something. Or, this is a capitalist economy. Maybe Chrysler they won't have that type of market share. If Donald Trump is elected, they'll go back to gas and get rid of those electric vehicle mandates. But I think in the future, you can't just depend on Donald Trump and just Republicans in office. In the future, they are going to have to make some investments on research, because I think that's the way the world is going. Not as aggressive as I think it's 2035. They want everything electric. But, you got to think about people are trying to move towards that direction. So anyway, maybe Chrysler won't be around in 10 years. I'm not for sure. Okay, so we're going to go to, I say this is our main story of the hour, but this is your girl, Tiffany Henyard. Tiffany Henyard had a pretty, I don't know, I think she was performing or something was going on, because she had all her goons in the background shouting and screaming and stuff during the Thorton Township meeting. And one part of the meeting, it seems like the lawyer, Thornton Township's lawyer, the guy that's looking like he's asleep, he gave Tiffany some pushback. Like, no, that's not the way you do it. So he, I think that didn't sit well with Tiffany, but he shut her up. That's for sure. So this is, let me just go Lansing Journal. Thornton Township meeting.
Trustee Gonzalez came over.
And I don't want to go. So this is the bingo, okay? Old business bingo, including much discussion. I like it. They put time steps in there, but this is where we're starting at.
Next, we have old business, and we're going to start with the number one topic, which is bingo. Today, we're talking about bingo because I know the residents really, really appreciate bingo. They love bingo, and they want to see it continue here at Thornton Township. So I am seeking approval from the trustees to continue bingo every month here at Thornton Township. Is there a motion to approve bingo monthly? Is there a motion? All right, I'd like to make a motion to approve monthly bingo for our seniors, our residents throughout Thornton Township. Is there a second? Trustees? Do y'all not want to continue bingo?
I'll second it only for purposes of discussion.
All right, it's been motion second. Go ahead.
So I did reach out to the attorneys concerning bingo because that's been a big conversation going on lately. And so originally when bingo was presented, it was presented that all the prizes were donated. But that is not the case. The prizes for bingo are being purchased by Thornton Township. And now there's a question as to whether each person receiving a gift over or a prize over $600 should fill out a 1099 form. And so we haven't received a final answer on that. And so I think it's important until we get the final details, we pause on those things. And let's say, for instance, you know, we don't know the findings, but just ethically, we have to ask ourselves questions. Should we be doing this? Yes, bingo is a great opportunity for seniors to come and to participate and have, you know, fun amongst their peers. However, there is a lot of money being spent on bingo. And what are we doing to improve our entitlement programs? That's the question we have to ask ourselves. And not only that, but seniors play a large part in the voters base. So bingo, us canceling bingo or pausing is not neglecting the seniors, and changing the rules is not disenfranchising the seniors as well. We're just taking a moment to stop to make sure that the rules and laws are being followed. And again, I think it's important for us as trustees to make sure that we reduce any liability to Thornton Township and its employees. So we have to stop for a second and ask ourselves those questions.
All right, so as it relates to bingo, it's amazing how you guys all of a sudden.
You guys put it in chat. I don't know. They're missing 3 trustees. So if they're missing 3, right? Gray Everett, Gary Jones, or 2 trustees. Gray Everett and Gary Jones. Or Jerry Jones. Should they even have a meeting? Because they essentially don't, or I guess Tiffany Henyard, she's included, or is she the tiebreaker? Is that how that works? You guys put it in the chat. I don't know how the township works, but I thought you had to have majority of the trustees for them to have a quorum.
Want to stop something that has been going on since I've been the supervisor at Thornton Township. Before, you guys stated, hey, we don't think we can do it because it's gaming issues. So what did? We reached out to the gaming board, the revenue board, to make sure that we did not do what we supposed to do, which I announced this at the last board meeting, that before we started bingo, we reached out to them, we reached out across the street to South Holland, and we followed every protocol possible so that residents can have bingo. Now, today, you guys come up with something else. Oh, well, they need to fill out 1099, they need to file a form, they need to do this, they need to do that. It's their money going back to them. What is wrong with that? How do you have a problem with residents getting their money back?
I would disagree with that. I would disagree with that. So only people that participate in bingo, you saying it's their money going back to them. Then I would disagree with, if we said it was donated, these are donated prizes. Why are we buying prizes over $500? Don't you think that's a little excessive? Bingo is fun. Yeah, bingo is fun, but like Thornton Township should be about, social programs, helping people that's in need. I'm assuming it's like, hey, we have, like they're saying, the senior meals. Okay, do they have senior meals in the morning, evening, or lunch, breakfast, lunch, and dinner? Maybe they could expand on that. Even cutting lawns. Okay, these are things I could even agree with that. But as the other trustee, ex-trustee, why would you buy a house if you can't? That comes with the territory of buying a house is mowing your lawn. You should be able to take care of yourself. But roofing is an extra expense. You don't replace your roof every year. And if you're on your fixed income, yeah, that could cost a lot. Maybe beautification of the neighborhood, giving out grants. So painting houses in the area, fixing, the things like that. I wouldn't think bingo is one of the things, we're going to give out a bunch of prizes and then only a small group of people are benefiting from that. I just don't agree with that.
So it shouldn't be an issue for you guys to sit here and pause something, and then you said something crucial. You said voting block. What does that got to do with them coming, loving on each other? You even was down here with them calling out bingo numbers. So what is the problem all of a sudden that you guys are using political campaign stuff to say why you don't want to have bingo all of a sudden you stop at something? And as I say, what God has for you is for you. Bingo was a huge success. Them people lined up down here. There was 500 people. And as I always say, news, where were you? You wasn't in the building. But yet y'all asked me for exclusive interviews to come out and talk to me. For what? Come and talk to the people that matter. Come and talk to the people that's actually being affected by bingo. Because bingo is more than just prizes like they're trying to make it about. It's about love. It's about community. It's about unity. It's about everybody loving on each other throughout Thornton Township. That's what bingo's about. Y'all missing the point. It got nothing to do with prize. Because guess what? Even though they didn't have prize, they were still down here packed. It was packed. And y'all didn't come. And you would have saw that, and you would have heard from them. And then anybody down here that wanted to talk as related to bingo, because I invited the residents out, so just so you can see what I deal with when I'm fighting for things for you that you really love and enjoy doing here at Thornton Township. Before, y'all didn't have none like that. Nothing. And now we made a way for you guys to unify amongst the 17 communities that we have here in Thornton Township. And now this board, this dysfunctional board, wants to take it away. That's sad. Because they got nothing else to do. It's sad when people want to take away things from people that's actually doing the work. People want to take away from people that's doing the work, but yet alone don't have nothing to do for you, residents. It's a way for you guys to come and celebrate with one another, and I love that. I love it. So I apologize that the board don't want to continue bingo. Carmen was a part of the administration, as I've always said before, so it amazes me that she's now singing a different tune, so I wonder who got her strings in a bunch. But all I'm saying to you is that we've always...
The FBI, Tiffany, what are you talking about? Who got her strings in a bunch? The FBI. The FBI is looking at you too. This is why she straightened up real quick. She said, I ain't going to jail for you. And then another thing, Tiffany, you're trying to act like look, Tiffany talks like Kamala Harris. A love and unity. But she's just more aggressive and hood. It's about the love and unity. You know, why don't you talk to the residents? Like, are you, I know you're trying to convince other people, but why are you so aggressive? Like, what's the problem? What is wrong with you? So you mad because it didn't get approved. Okay, this resolution or whatever didn't get approved. I think Chris Gonzalez had something to speak.
Because of Donald Trump, more than 1 in 3 women of reproductive age in our country live
without large prizes or any prizes, actually. And then, well, we get everything figured out, we could just keep going and still have it.
At the end of the day, you guys always want to stop progress. That's the problem I got with...
No, we want to stop spending. You said last meeting or the last bingo, you didn't have any prizes and people still came. If it's about the love in the community, they will still come, right? Just have some snacks and maybe some whatever. If it's under the $1,000, you could buy a whole bunch of prizes for under $1,000. You know why everything got to cost $1,000? One prize. Why are you buying one prize for $500? I just don't understand that. And she's saying you stopping progress.
My board. Y'all want to stop things that actually are a huge success, because I don't see none of y'all bringing numbers like that. And y'all been here longer than me. So when I came, we created this for our residents, and it's been a huge success. We have over 500 people. They come here, they get a cooked meal that they enjoy. Little do y'all know, some of the meals are people only meal for the day. But yet you want to stop bingo because you think it's such too many prizes. You think it's all about prizes. It's more than that. And Carmen knows that. She was down with her taking it. So was Jerry Jones. And Chris, you come for the photo op, so I don't know. But all I'm saying is that I just appreciate if you guys will take a step back, look in the mirror, and say, hey, I got to do what's right for the people. And make sure that the people benefit from bingo like they have always done. And not change that all of a sudden because, again, it's election time. So we got to stop anything going great in Thornton Township. Because remember, when I got here, y'all numbers was down. When I got here, all the numbers went up due to what? Being productive. Making sure that we're available.
What did why she keep on saying this is a social program or social services? What does she mean when she says the numbers were down? She act like she managing a plan or something. Remember, y'all numbers was down. Numbers was down of what? Because people they not in the food line. Like, I think that would be a great thing, that you don't need a lot of help from the government, because people are able to feed themselves. But she's trying to portray that all these people are down and out and out of luck. I'm not for sure. I guess only Thornton Township people are poor. I think that's what she's trying to portray. Like they need this service. Sometimes they come and this is their only meal. Well, I live with older people, or I have lived with older people, and I'm thinking about my dads. Sometimes you got to force him to eat. He'll snack all day, or maybe not. He'll have his juice and a little bit of coffee in the morning, eat a piece of toast, and he'll probably eat one meal a day. That's normal. You act like 3 meals a day, you gonna die if you don't get 3 meals a day.
For the people, that's what it's all about. So, okay, if y'all not gonna vote for it, do we got a call for the discussion?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, roll call.
So what is this, a roll call for?
Say for the discussion, so.
Trustee Carlisle?
Yes.
Trustee
I'm sorry, what was
Gonzalez?
this? This is a motion to approve the bingo.
No, you said it was a motion for roll call. That's what you just said.
You said something else, that's why I'm asking.
So, you said this, so this is the motion.
No, there was a motion and a second to approve under old business bingo.
Okay, so my response is no.
That's why I wanted clarification.
Trustee Gonzalez?
No.
Supervisor Henyard?
Yes.
Motion failed.
This motion still fails, so guess what? Bingo! Gotta learn how to count. It's 5 of us. Next on the agenda is Gospel Fest. All right, is there a motion to approve the Gospel Fest? Is there a motion? I'll motion to approve the Gospel Fest. Is there a second? Is there a second? No second? All right, so I'm gonna talk about Gospel Fest. So we approve Gospel Fest, so I can educate. If I say, let me educate y'all. So let me educate everybody, since everybody don't understand what goes on around here. We approved Gospel Fest on August 24th of 2023. We had every single person up here, which is shocking. Even Chris Gonzalez voted for Gospel Fest. Look at that. So Gospel Fest was supposed to happen. But unfortunately, we had a storm. That's when we had to call FEMA out, and we had to change directions of what we had planned. It was already planned. It was already approved, budget for, checks cut, all of above, right? So we stopped because the people needed us more. And we had to make sure we made a way, and we created a FEMA shelter in the village of Dawson at the new police station, and then we also did one here in this same very space. And that's the reason why we did not have the Gospel Fest. So what bothers me is, why do we have to put something that's already approved by the board back on the agenda for a second approval? Because remember, it didn't pass the budget. We're still working out of the same budget that the Gospel Fest was approved. So why is it back on the agenda for approval when you guys already approved it, like I said, on August, what did I say, 24th? So why do we have to do that, attorney?
It's my understanding these events are being presented pursuant to the new event ordinance that was approved.
Okay, so if we already approved it, we don't have to reapprove it, correct? If the event was approved on August 24th of 2023, we don't have to reapprove?
No, what I said was these events are being presented to the board in compliance with the new event ordinance. That's my understanding.
As though it's new? Is that what you're saying?
Yes, the new event ordinance that was just put into place at one of the prior meetings within the past month or so.
Right, so, okay, I just want to make sure we're crystal clear so they understand and I understand, the crowd. So by this already being approved in the old budget, it's safe to say it's already approved. I don't have to go back again before the board, correct?
No, these matters are being brought before the board now to comply with the new event ordinance, because these are events that have to be approved pursuant to the new event ordinance.
Right, but only time that you have to go forward is when you put in something new, and then whatever from that day, moving forward is what you go from. So if this was already approved prior to, it should not be affected by what's new. It's already approved, like I said, prior to. You understand what I'm saying?
I understand what you're saying, but I disagree. The event ordinance takes precedence because of these restrictions in place. These events have to be approved pursuant to the event ordinance.
Okay, so I disagree with what the lawyer's saying. So I put this on there.
Tiffany, you a lawyer now? The lawyer disagreed with you. I disagree with the lawyer, but you're not a lawyer. Okay, so you got to get it approved again because we have a new ordinance and the event has not happened yet. So essentially what he's saying, any event that was approved prior to the ordinance and has not happened, they have to reapprove it under this new ordinance. That's going to throw a monkey wrench on her parade. Now, if she's already planned it, and I could see where Tiffany is coming, giving them pushback. if she's already signed contracts, probably illegally, because she's not supposed to be signing contracts over a certain amount. I'm pretty sure her event budget is gone. Is blown out the water.
Because I just want to point out what we do. We go back and forth over who agree, who disagree, and then it goes a little further. When we disagree, we go out of our comfort here, and that's how we end up in court. Because we want to say, hey, if a board approves something, how can now the board come back and say it's not approved based off of an ordinance? The ordinance just went into effect now. That's like when somebody try to go take something from you. They make it effective now. They can't go backwards. But right now, they're saying we're going backwards. Impossible. Just like with bills. It's bills that they approved already. That last board meeting, you heard them read off the whole list from all the way from Father's Day. To me, that's impossible. You approved it all the way back then. How is you coming here now saying, oh, well, we're not going to approve it now? It's already spent. It's already gone. It's already back then. So I disagree with what he's saying. And that's my statement. Now, they just bought me something because we did reach out and they were just telling us about the bingo and the prizes. And it's just an email if anybody wants it. And it's tell you that everything was up to code. Nothing was in violation here for a township to have bingo and that we can have bingo moving forward. So that's what that was. Thank you so much for that. Oh yeah, I do. On my mic, I read this one. It says that yes, Thornton Township can purchase bingo prizes using Thornton Township funds for the public. That's what it says here in the email that they gave us. Thank you, Robert, you could get it to. But yeah, I just said it. I said y'all can have a copy of this. So I don't know if y'all didn't hear me. I'll repeat it. Everybody can have a copy of this because we did do our job, do our work. Okay, next on the
Excuse me, can you say who that's from because the board never received that information?
This is from Delgado. Yeah, this is from the lawyers.
When did they submit? Because when I spoke to the attorney today, they said they were still looking into the memo.
That's not true. That's why I say it. You say up here, not true. I said it's Thursday, August 4th, 2022. Like I told you before, when we did our homework for this, we did everything. We did everything. And we got documentation stating we did everything. It said that somebody that desperate to say no to bingo. Oh my God, just stop it. Here's the evidence right here saying we can do it. I'm done.
And I spoke to the attorney today and they said they're still looking into it. So that's a false statement.
That's not a false statement. I got documentation. Documentation don't lie.
We're talking about September.
And I'm talking about now. That's not true. Your statement's false. It's so sad you got so much hatred in your heart. But anyway, moving on.
And it's still not from the Gaming Commission.
Next is approval of bills. Is there a motion to approve the general fund? Yeah, we did. But it said, don't try to explain nothing because they ain't going to get it. They ain't going to change it. We know. I just said it. You got it from the revenue. You got it from the gaming. You got it from everybody. They still saying no. So what else? We still going to move on with bingo. Next is general fund. Is there a motion to approve the general fund? Is there a motion to pay the bills?
I have an amended list that I would like to pay on the general fund.
Okay, well make sure you name what you don't want to pay.
And I'm going to name the numbers and I'll send it to the clerk.
That's not how they go. You got to pay how it goes. It's not.
Okay. So I make a motion that we pay the general fund excluding the following: 1 through 119, which are all credit card bills, so those items are already paid. And then
I took two things that I love, dancing and dogs, and I made them into a successful business.
206 through 252, 258. That's when I make the motion to pay all the bills excluding those numbers I mentioned, and I'll get the clerk an email of what I excluded.
Okay, let me say something about transparency. So what they need to do is tell y'all what they're taking away, but they never do. And that's what you should pay attention to, residents. You want to have it their way, but don't want to show you the way. And Robert Hunt, you ready to read into record what she
It's exactly the same thing Robert read last time.
It don't matter. We're going to read it again because you should have read it because you the one took it out. So Robert, you go ahead. You out of order, trustee. You out of order. Come on, Robert. Let's.
See, this is why I mean, I commend these people. Maybe they're just, got Jesus on their side because like me, that lip on Tiffany, that lip, I know I will be probably in jail messing around with Tiffany. It would take the life out of me to restrain myself because she's just so disrespectful. It's really sad. It's really sad. This girl is disrespectful. So we're gonna skip that because Robert Hunt is like a dummy is reading the bills. If I was Robert Hunt, like, no, I'm not reading the bills. You read them.
Father's Day. Raheem allowed winner $500.
assistant fund. Is there a motion to pay the general assistant fund?
I would like to make an amended motion to pay a few things excluding a few items.
All right, you can make the motion to take whatever you want out, but again, I keep telling y'all, so I tell y'all, let me educate you. Those items are strictly supervisor. Supervisor is over the GA department. I don't know how many times I keep telling y'all that. But go ahead, do what you want.
Yes, you are, but it's with the past budget and we don't have that in
We
place
already
right
mentioned that we still work. Y'all keep saying pass, but y'all won't pass the budget, so stop. Y'all have to do y'all job. Stop kicking the can down the road. Stop. Y'all gotta grow up. Like, stop keep saying that we're not gonna do this because we don't have a budget. Y'all the one holding the budget up. Pass the budget. Other than that, we still operate off the old budget. So that means you have a budget in place to still do the will of the people and pay the bills. Because GA, for those that don't know, is a service department. So when you come and ask us to pay your light, your gas, your water, your mortgage, your rent, bury loved ones, or get medicine, that's what GA is all about. Food pantry. When you need food, residents, seniors, we deliver it to your house. That's what GA is about, what y'all missing. That when they sit here and say, well, we want to remove this, we don't want to pay that. We already gave you our word when you came here and saw us, and we said we're going to pay your light bill. Then they'll get up here and say, well, we ain't voting to pay nothing. They did that before, and guess what I did? Still pay it. Because at the end of the day, that is solely the supervisor. I pay anything in GA. Like, stop. But we get up here and do this show because it's political theater for you guys. Okay? All right, go ahead. Say what you're going to say. Let's vote.
All right, excluding, I make a motion to pay the bills except the following items, 1, 14, and 43.
All right, Robert, what is the items? Since she don't want to read it to the record, what's the items, Carmen? What's the items? It's 3 items. I could have just read them. Say it. All right, what's they want to not pay, Robert? Let's talk to the people.
All right, number 1, PowerWorks LLC, $8,745, tax refund software. Number 14, citation box and paper, $17,400, holiday boxes. 43.
Who is this for? Officer Green, and he got his sunglasses on. This dude, he got on a raincoat, a fake. Is he a fake flashlight cop or he's a real cop? Why he looks so weird?
PowerWorks LLC, $9,100, software for tax refund.
So now y'all want to give the refund to the residents. I got a tax refund for giving y'all tax money back. That's under the GA department. Again, y'all ain't clap for that number, but that's what she just took out.
I wouldn't be surprised if that's not like some type of money laundering scheme, tax refund that went to all her people. So what is she talking about? Who are you giving a tax refund to? Just all your people?
The township are functioning at the highest. Are you done? No. Okay. We want to make sure that our entitlement programs are functioning at the highest capacity so that we can serve everybody in the township that needs the services. And more than that, I think we need a more moral and ethically, we need an obligation to the residents to be transparent and accountable. And if we focus on transparency and accountability and less on bingo, excuse me, can you call her? She's out of order. Oh, that's your friend, so she can be out of order. That's your friend, so she can be out of order. That's your friend.
Settle down. Settle down.
Right. She only wants order when it's not exactly. Can you call the meeting so you tell your people to calm down? Like you always tell everybody else? Okay. So anyways, like I was saying, more than I think we need to, crazy. Maybe if we focus on accountability and transparency and less on bingo, then we'll have enough money to set aside to give the rebate program so that everyone in Thornton Township can benefit from the program and from the services at Thornton Township and not just people to show up to bingo. And so that's our goal. And then again, for the holiday boxes, it's not that we don't want the holiday boxes to not be printed, but again, we have an image ordinance that has not been in compliance. There are different departments that are still printing things with against the policy. Supervisor Henyard's name is on a lot of things, and she knows that's against the image ordinance. And so I did reach out to them, asking them, can we see what will be printed? No one ever responded to me. If they did, I mean, at a later date, I didn't get it. But again, we just have to make sure that the things that we put in order, the laws that we put in place, are being followed.
Oh, yeah. All right. Y'all know what's so funny about it all? It's amazing that everybody's screaming transparency when we should have just been.
Shut up, Tiffany. You don't believe in transparency. This lady that was screaming right here, this is the lady that was screaming. She says she's not a friend of Tiffany Henyard. But Deborah went on Jedediah Brown's live, took his good time and lied. She said she is not a Tiffany supporter. She was at bingo the other week with Tiffany singing in her live. That's the lady that was in her live. And then somebody else. And I'll show you a little snippet from Jedediah's live, because she claims that Keith Freeman and a trustee Carlisle put her out of business. And she wasn't able to get her business license. But she blames just Carlisle and Keith Freeman. And it's like, okay, if you're using your intelligent brain, they're only operating off the directive of Tiffany Henyard. Tiffany Henyard is accessible. Like if you know Tiffany, she's out and about. If somebody's stopping you from doing something and you can't get an answer or whatever, you will show up to the meeting. And that's what she did. She did show up to the meeting, but that wasn't her complaint. A month prior, I think, she was at the township meeting and she didn't bring up her business, and she spoke, but it wasn't about her business. It was about something else. So let me just share with you Jedediah's live right quick. So this is the lady that spoke during the meeting. Y'all only imposters out here. Found it that she was at the 8:15 town meeting. She lied on your live stream. If she was so upset about her business license not being approved, why didn't she say something then? She spent her time going after the trustees and talking to William Moore. Pitiful Tiff have people defending her like crazy and having them fall for the effery. When you lie, the truth will be found. I'm always going to come with the receipts. That was posted by Nicole Graham. Don't know who that is, but somebody in Dalton Politics page. Now, so she was on Jedediah's live, and I just want to share this with you right quick because she was going ham, and Jedediah was trying to ask her, like, you if Carlisle apologized to you, would you accept her apology? And she basically said no. Let me see if I can find that point where... Okay, this is her.
A new face for me inside of the Thornton Township meeting tonight. What's going on?
What's going on is that anytime somebody show up and don't be against Tiffany, then they swear that you're one of Tiffany goons. I'm nobody's gone. I'm a mother. I'm a grandmother. I don't have time to be nobody gone. But what I am going to do is speak my piece and defend me. What they don't know is my personal agenda against Carmen. This ain't got nothing to do with nobody but Carmen and her fucking man, Keith Freeman. I had a whole venue making cash money, legit. They shut my business down. I never had a meeting with Tiffany. I never talked to Tiffany. My meetings was all with them. So my vendetta is against her. She's not clear crystal Carmen because she's not with Tiffany no more. How about all the lives she destroyed when she was with Tiffany? I'm lost on that. I'm lost on that. She know exactly what she did. That's why she's sitting there and she looking crazy and she's smiling. She did a whole bunch of stuff, crooked stuff, when she was with Freeman, and now all of a sudden she's sitting up there going against Tiffany like I'm supposed to forgive her. No, I don't forgive you for what you did to me. My sign and everything else is still on that door in Dalton.
Okay, wait. That's so. Unpack this, please. You saying that Carmen and Keith Freeman affected you personally.
Personally, personally,
How was that?
I had a venue, 147th and Cottage Grove. It was time to renew the license. So, of course, you know, you got to do what you got to do. You got to have all your security systems. You got to have your garbage can. You got to have your insurance. You got to have everything to run a legit business. I did all that. Sent them in all the information that was needed for them. But yet and still, Carmen kept making meetings. Okay, well, come and sit down and talk to me on Woo Woo Day at 4 o'clock. I get all the way there, and she'll text me while I'm there. Can we do it tomorrow? Like this just kept going on, kept going on, kept going on. And then the next time we did finally have the meeting, it's her and Keith Freeman sitting up in there. I'm like, I don't need to be talking to y'all. Like, I need to, oh, well, you can't talk to her. So that's why my issue is with them, because they were her goons. They were her forefront. Now everybody else is her goons, as they say, and we forgot about these goons.
Wait,
I'm not erasing shit that was done to me before she called herself going on the straight and narrow because Keith Freeman was fired. No, it don't work that way.
Hold on. So wait, Carmen is scheduled a meeting with you, obviously
Yes.
as the assistant to Tiffany Henyard.
Yes. From what she was telling me is that you have to go through her. So those was the real goons in place. You had to go through her in order to get to Tiffany, but I never got to Tiffany. Once I got to her, then here comes Keith Freeman. So it could have been Tiffany that gave the word, but I'm looking at them because y'all was her fucking goons. Y'all was the whatever. I'll destroy people's lives and livelihoods for her, if that's what you want to say, because they were her goons. They were her goons, those two.
I still feel as if your anger is misplaced. Only reason why I'm saying that is, okay, yeah, I will be mad at her, but I will be not only giving Carmen Carlisle hell, I'll be giving Tiffany hell. Every time she speak, I'll be like, you know, doing the same thing you was doing to Carmen. You're saying, and you're a business owner. The head runs everything. Now, I could see if you went to Tiffany and Tiffany's, you made this complaint with Tiffany or whoever and said, hey, you know, I'm getting stopped at every turn to, you know, put my business in place or to renew my business license, you know, what's going on. And Tiffany said, okay, I didn't give them permission, but that didn't happen. Tiffany didn't want to deal with these people. That tells you everything. Tiffany told them, hey, you do what you got to do. And we're going to stall business license. And maybe Tiffany was interested in the, you know, that spot that she had. We don't know. But she's blind to the fact that she's placing all the blame on Carmen Carlisle. And I think it's totally ridiculous. So that was the lady that was screaming in the background. And Tiffany didn't stop it. Tiffany act like if she tells the lie louder and over, it will be true. We know you don't have a $9.8 million deficit. Surplus. We know that. We know that only because you ran Village of Dalton in the ground. So if you was in charge of one place and ran that to the ground, and you have more money over here to do unscrupulous things, we know you ran this township in the ground. Okay, that's why, remember when they was trying to increase a millage or enact a millage on, I guess, mental health, and Tiffany went around preaching and talking about mental health. You know, a lot of people in our youth, I go into the schools and talk about mental health, blah, 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 which it is a problem. Mental health is an issue, but the other city mayors didn't even endorse you because this was a year ago. They didn't even trust you with their money. That's why their millage didn't pass. And probably on top of that, they didn't want some more taxes being taxed onto their, or a higher tax bill. But we know you're lying. You're lying. So stop it. Shut the hell up, Tiffany. Shut up. You did all that. So you say the same thing over and over. And just because you say the same thing over and over, that doesn't mean it's true. You could stand up. You could do cartwheels. You could sing it. You could speak loud. You could add cuss words to it. That doesn't mean it's true, Tiffany, because we know you're a liar. You're a liar. Tiffany, you're not going to win because I'm pretty sure you'll be in jail. Yeah, Yeah, Chris Gonzalez probably got a strong chance of winning because you gonna be in jail. Somebody going to jail. Somebody going to jail. Like, come on, Tiffany, stop it. Gotta move forward. No, but why in the first place did he have to sue you? Probably some type of negligence for his employment because you got irresponsible people in place like Keith Freeman, and Keith Price, and your ass. You don't know employment law. You keep on violating people's rights, creating a hostile environment. I'm assuming Gerald Jones was an employee. I get you guys refresh my memory. I believe I read his lawsuit, but come on now. He sued you guys, and reason why you're getting all these lawsuits is it because of you and the people that you put in place. I'm not gonna go through that part, but they did end up voting for this lawyer to represent them. So Tiffany had it wrong. They stayed the $3 million. I guess they pushed it back until the end of October so they could have proper representation. The judge did this. Okay, so this next one, they're trying to approve of upcoming events. Tiffany probably wasn't expecting that. Tiffany, you know she wasn't expecting that. She's like, she just basically told her what she booked, like all the paraphernalia, the image and likeness, putting her name, and it was purchased through the township credit card. I mean, Tiffany, Carmen Carlisle, she got so much information on you. It's sad. It's sad. I mean, there's nothing you can say about that. Tiffany, she's about to spin it. She's going to imply that her and Keith Freeman was doing the do. That's what she's going to imply. Okay, so I just want to show you guys a different point of view. This is on Reality Check TV. Now he actually turned the cameras around. I'm trying to get to the point where he actually turned the camera around. This is her crew in the back. Now this lady, Keith Price, I forget what this guy's name is. I think that's Crigley. This is Kamal Woods. I'm not for sure who these people are, but this is all Tiffany's crew. Okay. And I believe this is Frank Zuccarelli's sister. You know, Tiffany, this is just insider information. I believe Tiffany was doing something wrong with the credit cards. That's why they're calling for an audit. But Tiffany's trying to specify that, oh, I want to do Keith Freeman's credit card and Carmen Carlisle, and she basically told on herself, well, you were my assistant for the village. Why did you have a township credit card? Hello? How did I get a township credit card? I'm pretty sure Carmen Carlisle has an answer for that. And booking trips for you, co-mingling funds. So you basically told on yourself. And she's the assistant. So If you didn't give anyone direction to give somebody a credit card, and I could see if she's spending charges on her, then that would be illegal on her part. But she was spending charges on you, Tiffany, and buying your campaign t-shirts. Let's go back to the meeting. I think Chris Gonzalez is right on that point. Yeah, we want to do an audit, but we probably should know what our budget is for that said audit. Even though we're just, or maybe we don't know what an audit costs. But I think you should have like a ballpark figure, just to stay in budget. Like, oh, the audit, we talked to our accountant and the audit is this, should be this much for an independent accounting firm. And then they will say, okay, yeah, I think that will meet the budget. And it's something that we probably need anyway. And I think it's unfair. I wouldn't approve this anyway, only because we should audit everything. We shouldn't just audit Keith Freeman. Anybody who has a credit card or had access to a credit card, we should be auditing their credit card. If you really think about transparency, we're already being looked at from the FBI. I would just do an audit on all the credit cards. No, not just one, all of them. Now, if you're saying Keith Freeman was fired because he was stealing, okay, I could see that that's a more pressing audit. But you didn't fire him for stealing. You fired him because he didn't show up from work. He was trying to put FMLA papers in, and I guess he didn't show up, so you fired him through email. Why go back 10 years unless you are saying that you're trying to flush out people that's part of Thornton Township that has access to credit cards, and Chris Gonzalez wasn't part of it. Are you trying to embarrass Frank Zuccarelli and he's dead? I'm not for sure what the purpose of that. I'm not for sure. So, but they want a forensic audit going back 10 years. Yeah, I'm not for sure the purpose of that, unless, the government is saying, hey, we want to do an audit on to make sure you're not spending federal dollars on things that you're not supposed to be doing. You guys let me know. I don't see no purpose of that, but I think she's just trying to say, hey, Frank Zuccarelli did the same thing I did, and he spent the same type of money that I've been spending. And maybe so. We don't know. Maybe so. But I think it's just something that she just want to showboat on. But Carmen Carlisle, she just got there. So why, it wouldn't be beneficial or unbeneficial for her to audit. I'm not for sure what Tiffany is implying. Maybe she's saying Chris Gonzalez stole some money. I'm not for sure. But what is the purpose? I think they do need to do an audit, maybe going back 4 years, but 10 years, that's a little bit extensive. And then, especially if you don't have the same people that was in place, most of those people are gone, Anyway. Then they start talking about whistleblowers. Okay, so in this, they go back and forth, blah, blah, blah. But I want to get to some of the public comments, because that's when, it gets kind of crazy with the public comments. elected official that had to step down. So shut up and sit down. Just shut up. You don't need to seek no legal counsel before you put the agenda together. He sounds stupid. Speaking of Michael Smith, this is Michael Smith. You know, Tiffany appointed him in place of or in lieu of Keith Freeman because she said she fired Keith Freeman from the Village of Dalton, but nobody agreed to it. Tiffany Henyard has to get a board approval to hire somebody and to fire them. It has to be voted on. And the trustees of Village of Dalton did not approve it. So she thought he was going to get hired. She hired him. She hired that lawyer. And she hired Ronnie Burge Sr. That's the guy who took Chief Lacey's place, okay? And I hear Ronnie Burge probably shouldn't even be a police officer, but she hired him. I don't know why where she find these people, but she find them. We know Michael Smith has a criminal record. I hear Angela Lockett, she's supposed to be the attorney, but she just passed the bar, has no experience in legislation. And then Ronnie Burge, I think he has a checker pass as well. I mean, I have to pull up the Dalton politics, but a lot of people was putting posts in regards to him. Now, big victory for Jason House, Brittany Norwood, Kiana Belcher, and Tammy Brown. The Village of Dalton trustees, they filed the motion for a temporary restraining order and a preliminary injunction. Basically, they are saying, or the court is saying, they granted, the court is saying Tiffany act out of her realm of mayorship and hired these people unlawfully without getting these people properly, number one, vetted, and number two, voted in by the trustees. Okay, that's basically what it's saying. And then the courts granted that. Okay, so you can't hire, and that's probably why she's in rare form now, because you can't hire who you want to hire. It's not your town. I know you wish it was your town, but it's not. So that's probably half of the reason why she's mad. Okay, and it says facts. Plaintiffs Jason House, Brittany Norwood, Belcher, and Brown of the 6 elected trustees of Village of Dalton. Let me enlarge this so you guys can see it. Village of Dalton, Keith Freeman is the duly appointed village administrator of Dalton. Michael A. Smith, Angela Lockett, and Ronnie Burge Sr. are individuals that were unlawfully appointed by Mayor Tiffany Henyard to positions with the Village of Dalton. Okay, beginning of July of 2024, Freeman started issuing directives to village employees to comply with certain laws and ordinances passed by the board. For example, Freeman notified employees that all requests from Mayor Henyard for services, documents, deployments of resources were to be made in writing, directed department heads to remove all signage containing Mayor Henyard's name and likeness in accordance with the village ordinance. Instructed department's head to all the village expenditures. This is another reason why Tiffany is mad. This fool, I brought you in, I hired you, and how dare you take my name off the building and my face off the building? Because this is my town. Tiffany probably was mad as hell when she saw her face wasn't on the building no more. It says, mayor security detail have been revoked by the ordinance. directed the issuance of permits to Dalton Park District and had to be held up by the mayor for no legitimate reason, and advised department heads Tiffany Henyard Care's vehicle sticker would no longer be sold by the village. Upon information and belief, once Mayor Henyard learned of these actions, she began to attempts to terminate Freeman as the village administrator. So I'm assuming Freeman was feeling the pressure. This is a 69-page document. We're not going to get through it, but she was feeling, Freeman was feeling pressure from the FBI. They probably was like, okay, we need you there to give us information. Freeman was like, okay, I might be facing charges, but I want to get any more charges. So I need to, kind of straight up what I'm doing. I already had this FBI charge or this federal pending charge because bankruptcy fraud. Hello, the story broke here. Chawanne broke that story. That's why you should be following me. But that's my shameless plug. But so he has all this pressure. So he was like, okay, let me get to the straight and narrow. And I can't find the video for the life of me. I know I keep on saying this. Tiffany Henyard, when her Tiffany Cares got audited and she had to appear in front of the courts about Tiffany Henyard Cares, and she went on the national TVs lying. She lied to Rolanda Martin about it, and she was on Angela Yee about this, and she lied to say it wasn't her foundation. Well, she had to go in front of the courts under oath, and she was crying profusely, and Keith Freeman was sitting right next to her. She was snotting and crying, you guys. If you guys know where that footage is, I know somebody taped it because I've seen it before and I can't seem to find it. But she was snotting and crying profusely, okay? About this Tiffany Henyard Cares. And she ended up admitting to talk about, oh, I was trying to help people that had cancer. That's how I started it. And Keith Freeman probably looked at her like, you went across national TV lying. You probably was at the FBI or lying to prosecutors lying. And now you want to tell the truth. Now you under oath. You probably threw me under the bus. So Keith Freeman was like, I got kids and I have a wife. I need to straighten up or I ain't going to be there. And Keith Freeman is the type that will run. He's not built for jail. Remember when I broke the bankruptcy case or his bankruptcy fraud, I mentioned that Keith Freeman has been eluding the authorities. He eluded the authorities for almost 10 to 12 years. And they finally caught up to him. But he was basically on the run for about 12 years. And guess what he was on the run for? Theft. He was on the run for the man was on run for stealing, okay? Stealing. Anyway, so she tried to issue a termination letter. It says Mayor Henyard ordered her boyfriend and the former deputy police chief to stand outside Ms. Johnson's office so she could not leave until she drafted the said letter, the termination letter. Ms. Johnson refused the mayor's efforts to draft the termination letter to Administrator Freeman. So now you're going to harassing people. You using Lacey and your thug boyfriend. This is why, that's why God knew where to place you and why I never made contact. I always, when I see like people are bullying other people, I tend to get fired. I only have about maybe 4 jobs in my life. And a couple of the jobs, only reason why I got fired is because I feel as if I run into people just like Tiffany. You screaming. I had this one guy screaming at me. And then I just, told him, hey, I got some boys. Call my homeboys up. and then all of a sudden I got fired. It's like, so this is I'm surprised they are allowing her to get away with this, and especially Miss Johnson. I'm praying Miss Johnson has people, sons, family, because how are you going around bullying females? I just don't understand. I don't understand that. You going around bullying females and you are actually getting away with it. It doesn't make any sense. No such. Okay, so Mayor Henyard called the vote to terminate Freeman, but they didn't vote. Remember that happened. Despite of the lack of board action, Mayor Henyard announced Keith Freeman was fired on or about August the 12th, and she's not fired. She couldn't fire him. They spelled Dalton wrong. Anyway. So they're just talking about his termination and blah blah blah. In the ordinance. And they were saying they were not, Ronnie Burge and that other lady, the attorney, was not properly vetted and hired. So, and they granted a temporary restraining order. They granted it. So Tiffany is probably mad as hell that her ex-boyfriend, Michael Smith, can no longer work. She's all alone on this deserted island. Just imagine being a mayor or a supervisor. Now, Thornton Township is a little bit different. She still have people in her corner. And then, some people are starting to get a little bit afraid. But now you have a whole city that you don't have any people in your corner now. You can't go around pointing your finger, screaming and cussing people out because you didn't get your way or they're not doing what you're doing. And people are no longer afraid of you. And if they were afraid of you, they're more afraid of the FBI than you.
Everybody, calm down. All right, all right. All right, we're gonna go close session. All right, guys, thank you. Security, security, security. Okay, guys, it's over with now. It's time to go. It's over with. Stop. All right, let's go. We're going to close session. Let's go.
Excuse me.
What if I told? This is some real clown shit right here. This is clown shit. This is real ridiculous. That they think that you could just do anything. You bullying people so they won't speak. They cornered that guy up like Mr. Roberts up like they was about to do something.
Excuse me, can I ask my question?
What do you mean when you go down? We shut this meeting down. No, there's no order. There's no order. There's no order.
You see that lawyer fast walking out the building. He was like, y'all bunch of animals.
Let me speak to you all. Yeah. You see what happened? Right, we see what happened all the time. They don't want to hear what the public has to say. They don't want to be accountable. They want to be accountable. And I wanted to address a certain thing that you have in that amendment. I think it was Article 18, where they're talking about investigating Keith Freeman and Carlisle credit card. She knows she gave them direction to do that. That's why she doesn't want anybody to her name. So she can say, I didn't do anything. But she said, she always said she's believing. She said she's talking. She said she's running stuff. Keep moving.
Were you signed up for public comment? Were you signed up for public comment?
Yes, I was.
That don't even make no sense. This is totally embarrassing. This is embarrassing. It doesn't make any sense for a bunch of grown people to be acting crazy like that, insulting each other. It's supposed to be public comment. Y'all supposed to be like, okay, we're airing out our grievances, but you're not supposed to corner me like you about to do something. What is this? Like, this is totally ridiculous. Lexi said the rental cops are useless. Yeah, they are. Keithus is saying it's out of control, like a high school gym. Yeah. And the security is trash because they're looking to Tiffany to give them direction, and which is totally wrong. And some of these security guards, I don't think if a fight broke out, they wouldn't be able to stop it because they like 20 years younger than the security officers. The security officers are old. These guys are, young. They wouldn't have been able to stop the fight and, put protection over Mr. Roberts because he's older than them. He can't probably square up with these young guys. I mean, I'm glad he ain't scared of them, but come on now. They cornered him like they was about to beat him up because he was saying stuff that they didn't agree with. Lexi, look at that, which she starts this stuff and then leaves. Yeah. Q out of the DFW. Hey, but y'all see them ladies in there. They weren't about to have it. They weren't playing. No, they straight got up and like, oh no, you're not about to do this. They got up. That was very disrespectful. But the response was way over the top. I think he was trying to use the analogy of like we acted like animals, or try to compare Tiffany to an animal, like Tiffany's stupid. That's basically what he was saying. Lexi said the lawyer, like, I'm out of here. Man, he was fast walking. So, like the security in the CVS, they let people steal. Yeah, they just watch them. Anyway, that was very eventful. I had to go back to the live stream. If you guys didn't hear the portion where I was talking about, the court filed an injunction on Tiffany Henyard, they put a temporary restraining order on her 3 people that she unlawfully hired. I'll have to go back. Hopefully you guys heard that part. I'm not for sure. Anyway, you guys put it in chat. Let me know what you think. I'm signing off. I'm sending all my good to you. I'll talk to you tomorrow.